Greetings, everybody. Well, our look at the Maze Runner book series now continues on with the first prequel book, The Kill Order. In the prologue, Thomas goes through the swipe and is put in the box, as he's one of the candidates who is needed inside. He's told that Teresa will get the swipe as well. Thomas is then sent into the maze with Teresa, setting the events of the Maze Runner in motion. Set 13 years before the prologue and the events of the Maze Runner, the main story of the novel begins in New York City, where the world is hit by catastrophic solar flares. Mark and Trina form an alliance with Alec, Lana, and others who rescue them from a group of street urchins. The group flees into the fictional Lincoln building to avoid an impending tsunami. The tsunami ends up being made of searing hot water due to the solar flare, killing most of the survivors in New York and giving Mark PTSD. They camp out in the building for weeks until a yacht arrives, but the yacht's crew takes them hostage and kills one of them in order to persuade to give up all the food in the Lincoln building. Alec manages to overcome their captors, and they take the yacht as their own and pilot the boat to the Appalachian beaches. The story resumes 1 year after the tsunami near Asheville, a small North Carolina town in which Mark, Trina, Alec, and Lana now live. Huge helicopter-like vehicles called Bergs arrive and attack the people in the towns. The crew shocks their settlement with darts that kill many townies. Alec and Mark manage to subdue and overtake a Berg, but his pilot crashes the vehicle in order to avoid answering their questions. They discover that the darts contain a deadly virus, and they start the long journey back to their town. 3 days later, they reach the town to find that the virus had killed most of the infected. Lana and Trina explain that after the initial death toll, people started living a little longer before they die, and symptoms of infection also changed. Mark and Alec explained that the darts were filled with the virus, and the group suspects that the virus is mutating. Trina and Lana take Mark and Alec to a locked room in which one of their friends, Darnell, is confined. Increasingly sick, he started having hallucinations, apparently from the virus, and begged Trina and Lana to lock him up, which they did. Their friends started saying that they were in his brain and eating it away. It occurred to that they were going to eat at his head until nothing was left. As soon as he starts banging his head against the wall to silence them and ends up killing himself. Another girl, Misty, who was his friend, goes into the room and comes out reporting a headache that alarms Mark and Alec. They tell Lana and Trina to lock her up as well. Immediately after they confine, she starts acting like her dead friend by talking about them, and she starts to sing an eerie song about death. Mark and Alec take Lana and Trina to find the mysterious attacker's base. The group heads through an abandoned village where they meet a 5-year-old girl, Dee Dee, who they take with them. She tells them that just like their own settlement, her village was attacked months earlier. The people turned crazy and left her behind. She shows them a punch remark that alarms Alec, and tells the group that Dee Dee must be infected. They decide to take her with them anyway, since if she had no symptoms months after she had been affected by the virus, she was obviously immune to it. Traveling to find the attacker's base, Mark and Alec leave the group for a while to investigate a lot of noise. They encounter a cult of infected people that believes that since Dee Dee is immune to the virus, unlike them, she must be some sort of demon. Mark and Alec manage to escape from the cult, but find that a forest fire has been started and that Trina, Lana, and Dee Dee are gone from their campsite. Believing that 3 girls on their party must have escaped and gone ahead of them to the attacker's base, Mark and Alec continue on to the site. They arrive at the base and sneak into what appears to be the site of the Post-Flares Coalition. They eavesdrop on a conversation and realize that the disease is widely known as the flare and caused by a virus that shuts down the thinking part of people's brains. They also know that the girls were given back to the infected cult. They are caught eavesdropping and manage to escape and steal a Berg. Mark and Alec find weapons inside the Berg. The trans devices are guns that evaporate people's molecules. They recharge 2 to use so that they can battle the infected. Mark realizes that the flare has started to affect his mind. Their journey in the Berg takes them near Asheville, where the Phelan is suffering badly from torture by the infected. To end her suffering, alchemists kill her with a trance device. They find Trina and Dee Dee at an old house, but Mark realizes that Trina also has the flare and has forgotten him. They are attacked by the infected but manage to escape to the Berg. As Mark starts to lose his sanity, he realizes that Dee Dee is truly immune to the virus and should be sent to the safety of the PFC base in Alaska. Mark plans on delivering Dee Dee by using a teleporter called a Flat Trans inside a PFC base in the safe part of Asheville. As they travel, the man Alec is also dying from the flare. Mark and Trina manage to bring Dee Dee to the Flat Trans and send her through to safety at the Alaska PFC base. Mark orders Alec to crash the broken Flat Trans building to prevent the infected from escaping Asheville. Trina remembers Mark, and they kiss just as the bird crashes, killing everyone in the base and destroying the Flat Trans. In the book's epilogue, 2 years later, authorities from Wicked take a little boy, Stephen, away from his mother because he is immune to the virus. They rename him Thomas. In the second epilogue, Dee Dee is revealed to be Teresa from the original trilogy, who sees the infected as worthy of saving due to her experience with Mark, Trina, and Alec, who tried to save her and the world in spite of suffering from the infection. When she first meets Thomas, on the other hand, Thomas tells her that he was grateful to escape his infected parents. Dun dun dun. So overall, it's the first prequel book. This is really damn good, and it definitely sets a lot of things in motion. It also sets up some things that we know from the trilogy itself. So yeah. So overall, I give The Kill Order 4 Grievers out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in more as we check out the final prequel book, The Fever Code. So until then, remember everyone, Wicked is good.